Good evening. I'm Landon with Mermaid Press. Today, we're going to talk about some basic home security principles. Haven't had a whiteboard video in a while. Figured we'd do one on this. So, 3 principles we're going to go by, okay? Deflect, disrupt, delay. It pretty much does what it says on the tin, okay? So, if we're deflecting, we're getting people to look elsewhere, okay? We want to make our house look like Fort Knox, right? When we are disrupting, that means the outer perimeter is compromised, or we're doing something at the outer perimeter that alerts us and upsets the balance in the way of the intruder, okay? We're turning on a light, a motion light's coming on, the dog barks. There's something in your environment that when the lights come on, they find they are out in the open. Okay, we're disrupting their plan. They did not plan for this light to come on, and now it's on. What's happening? Okay, disruption can also be offensive. It's the only thing on this list that can really be defense or offensive. Okay, that's you popping a shot off on your property with someone whose intent is clear. Okay, but we don't fire warning shots. All right, that's just a rule you should probably go by, especially times to come. So delay. Delaying is fortification. It buys you time. It buys you time to grab the bat. It buys you time to grab your firearm. It buys you time to call the police. It buys you time. Seconds are valuable. Seconds can last an eternity in a fight. Okay, seconds last even longer when you are sitting inside the house and you have no idea outside the house. Okay? So with these principles in mind, we are just going to apply these to things that are on this house that I have drawn, okay? I drew a typical suburban house on the outskirts of some neighborhood, okay? The yard is not fully closed in. There's woods to the back, okay, just for brevity and so that everybody understands my context. Good rule of thumb. With these, typically, 2 of them work in concert with one single item, technique, or practice, okay? If you can have all 3, I don't know how you would, put those in the comments. If you have something that can deflect, disrupt, and delay, put it in the comments, okay? But typically, it's going to be 2 of these at a time. If it's not meeting 2, that thing better do what it does very well, okay? So let's get into some of what we got. So I drew typical, okay, this is the driveway. I drew a mailbox and a sidewalk going past the house. Not saying you have a sidewalk, it's just saying you get foot traffic, okay? There's a front gate to the fence, and we'll say the side fences are privacy fences, okay? Wood planks, probably not very tall, maybe 6 feet. And the front fence is kind of the Gothic rail fence. It's more of a security fence. It'll probably be 6 to 7 feet, but more difficult to climb and something you can see through. The driveway does not have a gate. There's 3 entrances. The one that you would typically go into if you lived here. You park your car, you walk to this door, your front door, your rear door, and there's a shed in the back. I've drawn a series of red dots. We'll say those are lights, okay? As you can see, there are not lights on every corner. All right, so we're going to go into what I've drawn and how we're going to do it. So deflection. Deflection on this house, the fence is very good deflection. The fence also delays, okay? If they're going to climb it, it's going to delay them. If they're going to go through it, you're going to hear it. It's going to delay them. There's not much you can do about the fence other than it being a fence. If you want it to make it look like some kind of prison, that's your neighborhood. Your HOA probably isn't going to like you. Outside for disruption, motion lights. We will point out where those are in a moment. Other disruptions in here, there are lights extended away from the house that could possibly be there. We'll talk about how they get there here in a second. Another disruption would be a gravel driveway, not a paved driveway. You probably have a paved driveway if you live in a neighborhood like this, but gravel. The disruption, it basically just gives a whole area where if somebody's trying to be sneaky and they're nervous, adrenaline's kicking on, their hearing is insane. When they break a twig, it sounds like they cracked a 2x4. You might not even know they're there still, but to them, it's a disruption. That's just one most folks wouldn't know about. I drew some like little paving stones to the door just as, you know, reference to where foot traffic might be, you know, unsurreptitious foot traffic. Another disruption would be thorny bushes around your windows. I mean, nobody wants to get stuck by a rose bush climbing in to a window, okay? It's just going to suck. Get out of here, bug. Get out of here, bug. Get out of here, bug. All right, so mailbox is even out there. I put that much detail into this, okay? Wonderful trying, as we can tell. All right, and delay. We've already got the fence, okay? The fence is its own delaying measure. The doors, we'll say there's 4-inch screws in them. You've done everything you can to shore up the door armor on these doors. You've got alarms on your windows, and you possibly have an alarm system. I doubt it. A lot of people in America have them for a year and forget to renew it. That's just how it is. Delay, there's probably a lock on the shed, and that's probably about it. You might have a camera that is motion activated and sends a text to your phone. That would be more of a deflection if somebody sees the camera, but it's more of a delay because it gives you more time before you know they're there, right? If it delays, if you're aware of their presence, the delay begins, okay? It's just a matter of time. If someone's intent is strong enough on getting into this house and they know you're home, or they don't care if you're home, which is even scarier, that's where this comes into play. Okay, so handy dandy, red marker. We're going to go into the lights. So if you paid attention to my firelight principle video, you understand why we extend light away from the home. These pillars that this light is on to hold up the thing, I'm not saying they're pillars like something you can hide behind, but if they are, you need to light up that area. One, so that you can have positive ID on a target if you are to fire on that location. It helps to know the size of these so that you can roughly judge how tall someone is if you catch them on video. But there's light out here. The light in the middle of the yard here could be a street light. It also could be one that you buried the cord. Okay, you buried the cord down along this fence and brought it into the house. Same thing with the shed, although there's one right on the corner here. We'll get to that in a second. So you have extended portions of light. Basically, this light here could cut off this entire exit, or this entire entrance, because of the sound of the gravel when they walk through it, and the light that's there because they're going to be passing through a portal, pretty much. Right? A portal of light. They do not want to be seen entering a place because the neighbor across the street could have seen them walk through the light. They'll more than likely circumnavigate your house, come through the back. We have our typical front light or door lights. And with the back here, with the open back, that light is not penetrating that woods. And because you don't own that property, we can't extend lights all the way out there. If you want to build a fence all the way around, do so. So we're going to get to these corner lights. These are the only two lights I haven't talked about yet. These are motion lights. So when you're setting up lights, we're going to find likely avenues of approach, and that is exactly what it sounds like. The most likely way someone will try to go through that area. Okay? They're not going to walk up a wall and walk on the wall like Spider-Man. So on the far side of the house, if you delayed them to cross this fence, you're going to disrupt them, okay, when this light comes on. Okay? It's going to light up that direction of the house. And likely avenue of approach from this house could be from the front, could be from the rear, depending on if you got a highway or something back here. Let's say it's a national forest. Not super likely, but likely enough. You can also have another light there to they have not omnidirectional, multi-directional lights. One can point out into the yard. So a couple things that this light has created now. It's created dead space, which is an area that an enemy can hide from observation. Behind our shed, maybe a light back there would be pertinent. That light in the front, I just put in the front. Could have been in the back. Putting pillars on the end, running lights all the way down the inside of your fence. So if you have a light running horizontal on your fence and someone gets into your yard, you're going to see a break in that light if you are observing from a dark place, because they will be backlit. Okay, not backlit like Jesus. Okay, they're not going to have, a big ball of light behind them, but you will be able to observe a change in the environment and see them there. Okay, so I know I've done horrible injustice to my perfect drawing. Okay, but this is just basic lighting mostly. Putting cameras up deflects people. It also disrupts people. If they had a plan just driving by the house and now they see a camera, you're disrupting their plan. Cameras are one of those things that kind of does its one job, but it does it very well. Get fake cameras. Get whatever is in your budget, okay? Another deflection is buying the little ADT signs or security system signs and stickers off Amazon, putting one in the front, one in the back, and a sticker on every window. You can even buy little fake alarms that look like they're going to, and hell, they don't even have to be fake. You can get the really cheap ones that do go off, and it will wake you up. Some of them things are pretty dang loud. I think 140, 130 decibels is kind of a minimum for those things, which is very loud. That's a gunshot, I think, is 180 or something like that. So it's pretty loud, and it's constant. It's a siren. So things in your house, think about this. Start cheap, okay? When you start cheap, you're going to be beginning to understand these three things. I'm not saying these three things are the way, but these are things I just made up that I think certain things around your house should meet, okay? Motion lights, cameras, door armor. This is all prior to offensively meeting an intruder. If you are not the kind that wants to carry a gun or keep one loose in the house because you got kids or whatever, you need to build up your defenses on the front end. Not only will it give you peace of mind, but every time you have to go roll up the garden hose behind the house because the kids were playing in the sprinkler earlier today, you're going to thank me when that light comes on and you're not going to fall over the 100 toys that they left on the side of the house. All right? This is just an overview. This isn't even the shape of most people's houses. I even drew the gable on there. Okay, this could be a multi-floor structure or whatever. But this is not an L-shaped house. This isn't a house with an attached garage. This isn't a house with a detached garage. This isn't even a house that has a gazebo in the backyard. Okay, it just has a tool shed. This is atypical for a rural environment. This is not atypical for a suburban environment. Okay. So pay attention to your fences. If you don't have fences, you need to have things that delay people, okay? Bushes and whatnot. Do what you can on your end. Talk to your HOA, see what's okay. Some people have HOAs now, I get it, and some of them are very difficult to deal with. But I promise you, you can make concessions if you make your case for your own safety and well-being known. They will do that for you. All right? Deflect, disrupt, delay. Keep that in mind. All right, Instagram, go over there. If you've made it this far in the video, thank you. Go over to my Instagram. I'm doing a lot of like Richard Simmons dry fire videos and just talking about random things. I actually talked about this the other night, even though that video is not there because I got stung by a bee when I was making that. So that one got stricken from the record. I didn't want to become an internet meme. All right, you people are wonderful. Like and subscribe. Stay safe.